He who cannot handle failure in the moment will not master progress in the future. Failure, my friend, isn't just an obstacle, it is an incubator for future successes. When I fall 7 times, scripture says, I will rise up again. What a remarkable word that is. So, when crisis strikes, we test our boundaries and our capabilities, and that is when we discover the strengths we never knew we had. So, how do you turn your setbacks into stepping stones for your future success? That precisely, my friend, is why we are here. So, welcome back again. Welcome to Over the Line, the podcast where we explore the edge of human potential and dive deep into the science and the stories that push us beyond our limits. I'm Martins, and today we have an inspiring episode lined up for you on a topic that I believe will resonate with you in a specific way. I believe at one point or another you might have to go through this, and that's what I call mastering failure and making progress. Yes, you heard me right. If you're writing a book and there's no chapter on failure, that book is not complete, someone once said. And I totally agree with that. How do we turn our setbacks into stepping stones for future success? We've got to understand how to do that. If not, you will be stuck at some point, but that won't be your story. We've got research stories and wisdom from some of the greatest minds to guide us in this regard. To kick off, I like to remind you that he who cannot handle failure in the moment will not master progress in the future. It is a powerful reminder that our relationship with failure is crucial to our growth. It is fascinating how people and companies alike often grow best in times of adversity. In times of adversity, we find the best of us coming out, whether we are individuals or as groups or as companies. Failure isn't just an obstacle, it is an incubator for future success. When crisis strikes, our best capacity is tested and we discover strengths we never knew we had. So today we want to look at 7 superpowers that I believe is inherent in each and every one of us that if well developed, we'll be able to master failure and make progress no matter where we are, no matter who we are, no matter what we do. And so let's get ready for that. To frame this conversation, I like for us to look at some work by in positive psychology by a pioneer person by name Martin Seligman. Martin Seligman pioneered positive psychology, and he emphasized the importance of resilience and growth mindset. The importance of resilience and growth mindset. And these are the first 2 superpowers that is resident in each one of us. The resilient power and the growth mindset power. Now, let's look at resilience first. According to Seligman, resilience isn't just about avoiding failure, but it is about bouncing back and growing strong from it. We do not avoid failure, but we bounce back when we experience failure and we grow from the experience that is referred to as failure. Seligman's research shows that individuals who see failure as a temporary setback and a learning opportunity tend to be more successful in the long run. And this is well corroborated with Carol Dweck's work on the growth mindset, where she differentiates between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, you see. Those with growth mindset see their abilities as improvable, while those with a fixed mindset see themselves as being static. They see their abilities as being static. Whatever they can do is what they can do. They can't improve on it. And so It ties perfectly into our theme for today, mastering failure. No matter what setbacks you've had before, if you're resilient, if you can bounce back from it, and you have a growth mindset, then you can learn. And so that brings us to the second point of a growth mindset. Failure, when approached with a mindset of growth, becomes a powerful tool for progress. That is, a setback becomes a tool for progress when you believe you have a mindset that you can grow through the process. Now, Thomas Edison's famous quote on his failed experience is ever so true when it comes to resilience and a growth mindset. He said, I have not failed, I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So he saw every step in his journey of doing things 10,000 times until he got the result he wanted. He saw it as a way of improving. His perspective on failure was revolutionary. He saw every step as a step closer to success. Edison's story is a testament to the power of persistence. Imagine if he had given up after the first few hundred attempts. The world will be a very different place without his contributions. Imagine what his friends will have said when he had gone through the 2000 experiment, 5000 experiment, 5001, 6000, 7000. People will have counted him out, but he didn't count himself out. He continued going. It is a lesson for all of us. Every failure is a learning experience, a necessary step on the path to achievement. So stay resilient and keep a growing mindset, and you will be able to advance yourself forward, because these are two superpowers that are inherent in you when you were born. A child will start to crawl, and because then they fall down, they pick themselves up again, until they begin to run. A day will come, and Usain Bolt will emerge. Usain Bolt was once a toddler who was trying to crawl. And then a time came, he began to run, and a time came, he began to sprint in superhuman way, because he continued to develop a growth mindset and resilience to keep at it. The third superpower is what I call reflection. Speaking of learning from failure, let us talk about the importance of reflection, you see. Research shows that taking time to reflect on our failures can significantly improve our performance. A study by Harvard Business School found that individuals who spent 15 minutes reflecting on their day performed 23% better after 10 days than those who don't. So will you make out time to reflect on the way you work, on the work you do, and so you can learn from what you do and then improve every 10 days by 23%. And you see, within a year, you realize that you've improved 100-fold. Reflection helps us to identify what went wrong. It helps us to understand why it happened. And it also helps us to figure out how to better do the things we need to do next time. It is not about dwelling on the negative, you see, but about extracting valuable lessons from our experiences when we reflect on them. This process of reflection transforms failure from a negative experience into a constructive one. So, how are you constructively looking at the future from the perspective of the current setbacks that you currently have? So, that's the third superpower, reflection. Everyone can reflect because everyone has got a mind. The fourth superpower, embrace failure. And it's not just about individuals. Companies that embrace failure also thrive. Take Google, for example. Their famous moonshot thinking encourages ambitious projects, knowing that many will fail. But it is through this failure that breakthrough innovation like Google Maps, self-driving cars have emerged. Can you imagine that? They kept embracing failure, but they kept working at it. And so we have Google Map today, we have self-driving cars today. Google's approach is a perfect example of how creating a culture that accepts and learn from failure can lead to extraordinary progress. It fosters an environment where creativity and innovation can flourish. Now, let us bring in some personal story here. Early in my career, I was leading some kind of projects some decades back, and things went not the way I had expected they would go. They went south. Deadline were missed, budget increased, and things didn't really go as they should. At that time, it felt like a disaster. But in retrospect, it was a pivotal moment for me. I learned the importance of handling project, and making sure clear communications and line of communication are set in place, and then ensuring that all of the nitty gritties of project delivery and and project management is done. That failure taught me more than any success ever could have, and that formed the foundation for some of the great successes I'm having today. In those tough moments, we are shaped. It's those tough moments that had shaped us. I had a similar experience when I started my first business. It eventually failed, but it taught me invaluable lessons about perseverance, financial management, customer management. Each failure was a stepping stone to my later successes. Our experiences highlight an essential truth, and that is failure isn't the end, it is a part of the journey. Remember, failure is not the end, it is a part of the journey. Let's look at some inspirational story, for instance. J.K. Rowling was rejected 12 times by 12 publishers when before Harry Potter came. It was her persistence, her refusing to accept failure that pushed her over the edge and over the line. Or talked about Steve Jobs with he was fired from the Apple Corporation he co-founded before he returned to lead it again to greater level of success. Those stories are incredible inspirations. They remind us that failure is often a precursor to greatness. Never forget this. Failure is often a precursor to greatness. So, remember that if you do not give up and you continue, you realize that your failure yesterday becomes a stepping stone to your success tomorrow. So that's the fourth superpower you have, making friends with failure. The fifth superpower that is inherent in you is the capacity for grit. Speaking of resilience, let us touch on the concept of grit, you see. Angela Duckworth's research defines grit as a combination of passion and perseverance for long term goals. A combination you are passionately pursuing and you persevere for as long as it's going to take for your long term goals. You do not give up. You are in need for the long haul, not for the short haul. She found that grit, more than talent, is a predictor of success. What predicts whether you're going to fail or succeed is not necessarily your talent. It is about how gritty you are, your grit, Grit, your grit. Duckworth's findings are a game changer any day. They suggest that our ability to persist in the face of adversity is more important than our innate ability. So that capacity to stay with something until you break through, for as long as it's going to take, is what it's going to take for you to break through. If you do not give up and if you're not giving, you will win in the end. It's about showing up. It's about putting in the effort. It's about staying committed despite the setbacks. So your last setbacks is not your checkout. Don't check out because you failed. If you will persist, you will succeed. And the sixth superpower is what I call support system. And this is bringing us to another key aspect of being able to master failure. Having a network of supportive friends, family, and mentors who can make significant difference in how we handle failure. This support system we have around us, our friends, our family, and mentors who can inspire us. They are there to help us navigate the season when things may be tough. Studies have shown that social support not only helps us cope with stress, but also boosts our resilience. Surrounding ourselves with positive influences can provide the encouragement and perspective we need to turn failure into learning opportunities. It is a reminder that we don't have to face our challenges alone, you see. So, don't isolate yourself in difficult times. Get supportive system around you. If you can't find it, encourage yourself. Like it said in scripture, and David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. Lastly but not least, your superpower is self-compassion. Self-compassion. Let us not forget the importance of self-compassion, my friend. According to Christine Neff's research, being kind to ourselves when we fail can improve our emotional resilience and well being. When you are kind to yourself, it can help you to increase your emotional resilience, your capacity to cope with whatever it is you might be going through. Self compassion helps us to recover from failure more quickly and encourages a healthier mindset. Recovery from failure is necessary. And so self compassion is what helps us to recover quickly, it helps us to heal emotionally. Neff's work is vital. Often, we are our hardest critics, and practicing self compassion can shift our perspective from self blame to self improvement. Wow. How do you do that? Self blame to self improvement. It is about treating ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a friend in a similar situation. So you're kind to others, but are you kind to yourself? So it's important for us to be kind to ourselves. So these are the 7 principles: resilience, a growth mindset, reflection, being gentle with yourself, self compassion, support system, and being gritty. These are the 7 superpowers you currently have that you can dispose and use right now. And that will give you agency to keep going in the face of what you have to do. So as we start to wrap up, some, let us bring it all together in a story. Mastering failure and making progress is about embracing a growth mindset, reflecting on our experiences, cultivating resilience, and seeking support. It is about seeing failure not as a dead end, but as a detour to success. So, Winston Churchill's word is so appropriate here. He said, and I quote, "Success is not final and failure is not fatal. It is courage to continue that counts." End of quote. Wow. It is a powerful reminder that our journey is ongoing and every experience, good or bad, contributes to our growth. Another powerful quote to reflect this is from the scripture: "When I fall 7 times, I will rise up again." What a remarkable word that is. Don't give up on yourself. This highlights the indomitable spirit we need to cultivate. And one more from Jacob Aries that I find so incredibly motivating. It's been one of my, most enduring, encouraging lines. It says, "When nothing seems to help, I go to look at a stone cutter hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times, without as much as a crack showing in it. Yet at the 101st blow, it will split into two, And I know it was not the last blow that did it, but all that had gone before. What a remarkable word that is. 100 blow and one brings the rock to split. And you realize that every single strike brought about the success. Now, there's a story about Walt Disney, which is a perfect example of mastering failure and making progress. Disney faced numerous setbacks throughout his career, but each failure played a crucial role in his ultimate success. Walt Disney's first company, Laugh-O-Gram Studio, went bankrupt. Laugh-O-Gram Studios went bankrupt when Walt Disney set it out. He could have given up then, but he saw it as a learning experience. He moved to Hollywood and started anew, facing rejections and financial difficulties. Disney was even told by newspaper editor that he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Can you imagine that? Despite these failures, Disney continued to persevere. He created Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which became quite popular. However, in a devastating turn, Disney lost the rights to Oswald along with most of his animation staff. Many would have been crushed by such a setback, but Disney used it as fuel to create something even better. Mickey Mouse. Will you use the setbacks you've had as fuel to go ahead and do what you need to do? Disney's journey is a testament to resilience. He famously said, "All the adversity I've had in my life, all my troubles and obstacles have strengthened me. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you." End of quote. What a remarkable word. It could only have come from someone like Walt Disney. Disney's failure didn't stop there. His first theme park, Disneyland, faced numerous problems before opening and was dubbed Disney's Folly. Wow. Yet, Disney persisted, and today, Disneyland is one of the most successful and beloved theme parks in the world. Walt Disney's story illustrates that failure is not the end, but a necessary part of the journey of success. He turned every setback into an opportunity to innovate and improve, embodying the essence of mastering failure and making progress. Wow. So, my friend, you have it in you. You've got a superpower to master failure and make progress, no matter where you are. So, thank you for joining me today on Over the Line. Remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. Embrace your failure, learn from them, and keep moving forward. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us grow and bring more inspiring content to you. Until next time, stay resilient, stay positive, and keep pushing over the line. You can because you are. That was a remarkable conversation. It's always uplifting to discuss how we can turn our challenges into opportunities. Can't wait to see you next time. Can't wait for us to connect again. Bye for now, and God bless.